Welcome back to this week's episode of That Fantasy Sports Show. Sorry we missed last week's episode. My crew and I were on a 11-day production tour across the East, so had a little bit of crazy Sunday last week. But anyway, we're back in the saddle today and putting up our team, again, 15 minutes before kickoff. And there's a couple of interesting games today, and our lineup here, we did horribly again the other week. We're going to try it again, and again, try to do a reference against the top players and the top money with an infinite budget. But the quarterback we're picking is Jay Cutler. We think that the New Orleans defense is suspect this weekend on their secondary, and it's going to be a pretty high-scoring game, and Jay Cutler's been pretty good at home. The rest of the lineup we're filling out is Giovanni Bernard against New England. New England lost one of their big defensive tackles this week. The game that everyone thinks is going to be the biggest variability on points is going to be Philadelphia against the Giants. Two NFC East rivals. It's going to be a high-scoring game with a lot of beta for those of you who are stats nuts. So we're loading up on a couple players here on both sides of the fence. LaShawn McCoy, Hakeem Nicks, and Brent Seelick. Rounding out the rest of the games, the strategy we've taken is to leave flex open to play around with the last wide receiver spot. So we won't try to go really, really cheap with lots of variability on the kicker and defense special teams. The Jets at 2-2 have been looking sort of decent, and they've got a very good secondary that's not getting enough credit. So we think there's a chance here that there might be some points there. But again, defense is always a crapshoot every week. As far as kickers, the variability in prices for kickers are also pretty close. We think that the random walk theory might help the most. We picked the guy with the craziest name. Other people could do better, but let's try and see how that works. That leaves us with the last two wide receiver and flex spots. We have Alshon Jeffrey and Demaryius Thomas. Again, we're doubling down on the New Orleans-Chicago game here, but also taking a look at Denver-Dallas. Again, Peyton Manning has been phenomenal. So this one particular contest has about 2,250 open spots. It's almost filled. The top 450 finish in the money. Ideally, though, you want games where you have more than half completing or half in the money to actually balance out your odds. But again, this is still our maiden voyage, and we're going to see if we can finally get in the money this week. Let's tune in for next week and keep on trucking.